Okay, so let's just get right into it. We live in a world that is completely obsessed with speed, right? With the hustle, with just constant activity. But what if I told you the secret to actually getting more done and feeling a whole lot better while you're doing it isn't about moving faster at all? What if it's about embracing a really ancient virtue? Today, we're going to explore a super powerful antidote to modern burnout, and we're going to do it by connecting the lost art of patience with a totally new way of working.
And this is a real problem. I mean, it's not just in our heads. A recent study from the Harvard Business Review found that a staggering 89% of people say their well-being has declined. And get this, almost two-thirds of those folks are dealing with frequent or even extreme burnout. This isn't just about feeling a little tired. This is systemic exhaustion. And you know where it comes from? A culture that has the whole idea of productivity completely backwards. And this quote right here, it really nails the core issue. It's this idea of perpetual busyness. We've started confusing activity with actual achievement. There's a name for it, pseudo-productivity. It's that constant churn of emails, the back-to-back meetings, all the notifications that make us feel busy, but don't actually move the needle on the stuff that really matters. It's the engine driving burnout, keeping us stuck on a hamster wheel of motion without any meaning.
So, how in the world do we break free from that cycle? Well, this brings us to a really powerful concept from the author Cal Newport. It's called slow productivity. Now, this isn't about working less, not at all. It's about working smarter by completely rejecting the frantic, chaotic pace of modern work and instead embracing a more deliberate, more sustainable way to get things done. The whole philosophy is beautifully simple, and it really comes down to these three core pillars you see here. First up, do fewer things. Seriously, just focus on maybe 2 or 3 major tasks at a time. Number 2, work at a natural pace. Let go of that fake sense of urgency that's always breathing down our necks. And third, and this is crucial, obsess over quality, because that's where the real impact, the real value actually comes from. And this slide just lays out the fundamental shift perfectly. Pseudo-productivity is all about looking busy. It's performative work, you know? It's about answering emails at 10 p.m. so people see you're online. Slow productivity, on the other hand, is about being effective. It's trading all that shallow busy work for the depth of real high-quality output. It's a total shift from quantity over to quality. Okay, this all sounds pretty great as a modern strategy, right? But you have to wonder, is it just another productivity trend, the flavor of the month? Or is it maybe tapping into something much, much older, something more profound about who we are? Let's peel back the layers here and see how this modern solution actually connects to a very ancient virtue. When we think about patience, we usually picture someone just kind of passively waiting, right? Just sitting around, doing nothing. But academics who actually study patience as a character trait, they see it completely differently. To them, patience isn't passivity at all. It's an active, powerful, and honestly, a deeply misunderstood strength. So what is patience really? Well, according to researchers, here's the definition. It's a stable disposition to react to slower than desired progress toward a goal with calmness. Okay, let's just zero in on the two most important words there, goal and calmness. This tells us that real patience is always, always goal-oriented. It's not about giving up. It's about enduring delays without losing your cool on the way to wherever it is you're going. And get this, true patience is incredibly complex. It's not just one thing. It involves all these different parts working together. You've got the emotional part, feeling that calm instead of frustration. The motivational part, which is your inner drive to act for the right reasons. The cognitive part, figuring out what's reasonable. And of course, the behavioral part, the patient actions you actually take. It's a full system response. It's a whole body virtue. To really wrap our heads around this, let's move away from the academic and get into the emotional. There's this incredibly powerful West African folktale about a young woman named Obi, and it just brilliantly illustrates this active, goal-oriented kind of patience. So the story starts with Obi, who's already exhausted from a super long day. She sees an old woman struggling to lift this heavy pot of water. Now, Obi's late, but she offers to help carry it up a steep, rocky hill to the woman's house. It's just a simple act of kindness, right? But it's about to become this profound test of her character. The second Obi lifts the pot, she knows something is wrong. It feels impossibly heavy, like it's filled with rocks, not water. The journey up that hill is just
agonizing. Her muscles are screaming, sweat is pouring down her face. But, and this is the key part, she never, ever complains. She gave her word, and so she endures the whole struggle in complete silence. So they finally get to the top. Totally exhausted, Obi's in pain, and she looks around for the old woman's house. But there is no house. And then comes the cruelest twist of all. The old woman just tells her to pour the water back out, right there on the ground where it came from. All that effort, all that pain, was for literally nothing. It was a completely meaningless task. For a second, rage just flickers inside Obi. But then she makes a choice. Instead of lashing out, she calmly walks back down the hill and pours the water out. And in that moment, the old woman is revealed to be a river spirit, and she tells Obi that she passed the test. And this quote just captures the whole lesson. The true burden wasn't the heavy pot. It was bearing that burden without letting bitterness take over.
Now, this idea, this patient, long-term mindset, it isn't just for folktales. It turns out it's a proven winning strategy in business, too. A huge study by KPMG looked at how companies that prioritize long-term value perform against those that are just obsessed with short-term results, and the data they found is absolutely fascinating. So first, let's just look at revenue growth. Over a 15-year period, the patient, long-term focused companies grew by 6.1% every single year. Now compare that to their short-term focused peers, who only managed 4.2%. That might not sound like a huge gap, but it adds up. That's nearly a 50% higher growth rate year after year after year. And the story gets even more dramatic when you look at earnings. The long-term companies saw 8.5% annual growth. The short-term ones, just 4.6%. I mean, that's not just a little bit better. That is almost double the performance. The conclusion here is crystal clear. Patience pays. Big time.
So here's the big takeaway. Whether you're an individual trying to avoid burnout or you're a company trying to build something that lasts, the principle is exactly the same. That frantic hustle of pseudo-productivity, it just leads to exhaustion and, frankly, mediocre results. True, sustainable success is built on the patient, deliberate, high-quality work that's championed by both self-productivity and a long-term strategy. And that brings us all the way back to the story of Obi. The spirit tells her that the test wasn't about giving her a gift. It was to give her the chance to prove what you already were. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. In our own work, in our own lives, what if the point of the struggle isn't about the prize you get at the end, but about revealing the strength of character that you already have?